Hello and welcome to my tutorial extravaganza. This tutorial is meant for new people that want to understand how to play Face of Mankind. So let's go about what Face of Mankind is. Face of Mankind is essentially an economic, political combat simulator. Your character will participate in large battles, gain more money, and develop economically as well as politically. Right now, we're going to the starting area. To move, you use WASD. To look around, you use the mouse. To shift, sprint, you press shift. And to gain control of your mouse manually, you press escape. In the tutorial area, we shall go over what you shall do. Here you start first at the perspective wall. This is the place where you vote in once you create your character. Once you do that, you should speak to Irena, and that will start a quest chain of tutorials, which will explain the game slightly better. They will give you also a credit boost and some starting gear. So you should definitely Now let's go over the user interface. To bring up your inventory as well as other user interface options, press escape. Here on the left, you can see a bunch of buttons. The first button is called the Skill Manager. You go here to train skills. You pick the category of skill you want, then you right click on the skill and click Add to Queue. As I have leftover seconds, I will automatically learn this skill because I participated in the beta. However, you shall need to wait 48 hours, as clearly stated here, and then you will be able to use emergency medkits in this case. That are skills. You need to train up skills and make sure you always train skills even when you're offline. The next button is the Faction Manager. The Faction Manager allows you to browse your factions different options and allow to look at its statistics. The overview gets you a general bit of information about your faction. The members allows you to see all the active members as well as the currently offline members, the different departments, the pending invitations for different factions, the statistics, which allow you to see the faction capital, which we'll speak about later, upkeep fees, and so on. To apply for now this window is only open for people that have already a faction. When you first log in, you won't have a faction, or at least you will, the Dolly Inc. Corporation, which is the default faction. To apply for a different faction, click on the Apply for Faction button and choose a faction you wish to apply. If we wish to apply for Swag Rats, what we must do is write an application text here and then click Submit. And then our application will be submitted. Then a member of that faction with the ability to accept applications will need to accept your application for you to join that faction. Next are the groups. Once you are in a faction, groups generally are a way to gain money. They're a way to gain what's known as faction credits. Faction credits are essentially a percentage of the universal credits that your faction earns a day, which you take in. Don't worry if you don't understand, it's pretty complex stuff. These missions are created by people with the appropriate rank and can distribute the appropriate amount of money that certain person sets. You should always do groups when you're doing some sort of combat or economic activity. Next button is our email button. Here we can send and receive emails, as well as we have a calculator and an in-game web browser. We also have a notepad to keep head on notes, for example when producing items, and we can create new messages. Under it, we have the Bounty Manager. Here you can set bounties as well as search for bounties and accept them, provided you have the bounty taking skill. So you'll need to train bounty hunting to be able to accept bounty contracts. And the final option is our game options. Here you will be able to set different game options as well as audio options, reset the controls, and change different user interface options. Now let's go over the chat menu as well as basic inventory management. On the bottom left, there's the chat window. To navigate between the different tabs, press J. You can also navigate between them mechanically by pressing escape and then clicking on each of them individually. The first tab, the General tab, allows you to speak to anyone within your general vicinity. The Private tab allows you to speak to your friends. The Faction tab allows you to speak to your faction members, and the Global tab allows you to speak to people all over the game. The Help tab allows you to request assistance. There's also a Friends tab, which you can add friends to, a Blocks tab, which you can add blocks to, a Taunts tab, which is a group of small remarks, and a Emoticon tab, which are a bunch of basic animations which you can perform. Now onto inventory management. These are slots which can equip different items. They can either equip armor or mechanical augmentations. Armor is what it is. It's armor. It protects you from certain things, not good at protecting others, and so on and so forth. This is a mechanical augmentation. It's the first mechanical augmentation you get. Mechanical augmentations differ from nano augmentations because they allow you to do physical things. For example, a mineral scanner, which you get during the tutorial, allows you to mine only the items you need to mine or want to mine. So if I activate it by pressing F2, as stated on the top here, I am able to select the item I want to mine. And if I use a mining gun and mine that item, I will only mine that item instead of all the items I am able to mine. Notice that using mechanical augmentations uses bioenergy. Nano augmentations do not take away bioenergy. Nano augmentations are improvements to your physical stats. So for example, a jump augmentation allows you to jump higher. Now let's talk about equipment. To equip an item, you can either drag it to the appropriate slot, or you can right click and click equip. Right now we equipped a Zenithide 5 Inflex. Below you can see the required ammo type for this weapon, and as well as different stats, as the damage and effective range of it, as well as the fire rate and weight. Now to reload a weapon, we have to first unholster it. To unholster a weapon or any item, you should click on the bottom on the button that is stated on the top left corner. Right now we pulled out our Zenithide 5 Inflex, and if we press R, it will load this 9mm clip inside the Zenithide 5 Inflex, and it did so. And now we have 36 shots to shoot with. To prepare your gun, you can press Q, and to bring it down again, press Q again, and to holster, press the button of the gun. So in this case, let's talk about network. The Vortex network allows you to travel between colonies. The way it works is, you use a Vortex network terminal by pressing E on it. Then it allows you to vort to the colonies that are most close to you. So, I'm from Earth, from Brooklyn, Earth, I'm able to vort to Booker's Valley, to Titan Station, and to Moonbase. Let's say I want to vort to Moonbase. I click on it, and then it allows me to see different services this colony provides, as well as to select a node. Let's say I click the default node, and I press on Moonbase. You can see the cost is 0, and that's because we're on the Brooklyn, which is the starting area. But from different colonies, the costs will be different because the taxes are set differently. So Moonbase can have a very high tax on voting in, and that's the amount of money which will be taken out, but not for new people, so that's why Brooklyn doesn't have a tax to voting to different colonies. So we bought a ticket by pressing purchase.
Thank you for using
then we go to a Vortex
network.
Vortex gate. We step inside and we vort into a different world. And once it loads, here we are. Any area besides Brooklyn and the cloning facility is combat active. So I'm able to shoot anyone, as well as this person, anyone in the world, and kill them and take their loot. These are storages. To use a storage, press E on it. Storages allow you to contain large amounts of items without having you to carry them around. Storages are cost on a weekly basis. The more item space you rent, the more it costs. Right now I rent 130 items item spaces, and it costs me 1.115k universal credits. Therefore, I'm able to store 130 items, and it will take away 1155 UC every time, every week. Let's get out our linear PPX. This is a Xeno weapon. It is used to kill aliens on the colony of Nacre's Field, which is the colony people go to once they finish the tutorial. In fact, they finished the tutorial there by speaking to CJ. Right now, we've boarded into Nacre's Field, the area which we finished the tutorial in. Let's equip our PPX and go down to the battlefield. This is the bottom of the tower. This is a favorite location to kill aliens in. These are dead aliens. Aliens are great to kill if you want to gain some money and alien loot. As we can see, aliens are right there running around. So let's start shooting. As you can see, I gained universal credits in 2 items that I'm able to loot. And these are these 2 items. I loot them by either dragging them down or pressing take all. Right now we're entering the mining area of Brooklyn. And in the second slot we have equipped a mining gun, which you receive during the tutorial. To use it, like any gun, you press it on a type of rock and right click and you mine. As you can see on the top, I'm gaining different items as I mine. And that's because I don't have my mineral scanner activated, and therefore I received a bunch of items which I do not need. What we do need right now is silicon. So let's walk to the item recycler. We're walking because we're over encumbered. As you can see, I'm over my allowed limit of weight. If we use the item recycler, we're able to recycle different mined items for money. Let's, however, stick with the silicon. Now, to mine just silicon, what we need to do is press F2, in this case, for our mineral scanner, and choose silicon on it. Now, we mine only silicon. Now, we're at the production area of the Brooklyn Mall. To produce items, you'll need to use a production terminal. This is a production terminal. Press E to use it. As you can see, it has two tabs: new tasks and tasks on this world. Tasks on this world. Tasks on this world displays all the tasks you have created in new task. To produce anything, you must use the production terminal, and this is how it's used. You first buy a production schematic. In this case, it's a 9mm standard round production schematic. And as you can see, as it's stated in the ingredients, it requires 2 aluminium and 2 silicon. We mined 8 silicon previously, and we have 98 aluminium from the tutorial. We put the production schematic in the top square, and as you can see, it requires us to input the other materials. We can either do it from the storage, or we can do it from the inventory. So let's drag the materials to their appropriate place, and we're able to create the item. Now we press the quantity, and we start production. As you can see, it also costs UC to produce items. Now that we started the production, the tasks on this world will be displayed. And as you can see, the completion time is stated here. To check the time of the game, you can see right here. So it'll finish in a couple of seconds. Our task is finished, and now we're at the storage area of the Brooklyn Mall. As you can see in the transport storage contents, we have our 9mm round, and we simply drag it to our storage, and now it's here. Since I had previously a round here, now we have 2 rounds. So this was the basics of FoM in a nutshell. This is not everything there is to know. This game is pretty fantastic. It's pretty much the only game like it out there, and it's really great if you give it a chance. There are many more things to cover, but this video will get too long if we do. If you do indeed wish to know more, you could ask different members in global chat or your faction chat, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to explain everything there is to know about this game. Later.